For once, I'm going to see if I can actually do this in 60 frames per second. Yeah, that's a really cool thing about camera phones now. When you're making a video, you can actually choose if you're doing 30 frames a second or 60. I'm trying 60. I will admit though, I can see the difference. Everything looks more, it feels as if everything's moving more fluid. It's awesome. I might have to consider doing this more often. I don't know. So yeah, I've been looking everywhere. I can't find whether or not Horseside's won or lost. So I can't really give out the Blue Hammer Award right now, but that's fine because, well, I'll tell you why. And that's because, if after a whole another day, more results will probably come in and I could probably dish out a proper Blue Hammer in earnest. Plus, best case scenario, if Horseside's won and Trinity Pauling wins today, I'll be able to sing 2 fight songs tomorrow. That'd be fun. I can't wait to do that. Here's the hoping. So yeah, my low. You know what, my low is a combination of a couple things. Obviously, the fact that I couldn't find the Horseside score. And also, my grandmother left for, well, she's going to Rochester right now, and then she's flying back to Seattle on Sunday. So, yeah, I'm kind of sad she's gone. But this was good. I had a great time with her. And I guess another part of the low is, and I always bring this on myself, I always think I'm going to have a miserable time with my family, especially if they're on my mom's side. But I guess I just wind up sucking it up, and I wind up having a great time anyway. And now I'm sad that, it's over. But I bring that on myself. That's on me. That's my own problem to deal with. Although, I think I can say this is a good problem to have. I mean, I had a great time with her. To put things into perspective, I call my ex-step-grandmother. The real story is, and keep in mind, it happened years and years and years ago, and, it led to this. So I guess it doesn't really matter. But my mother is actually a child of divorce. And my grandmother who was visiting wound up being my grandfather, my late grandfather, by the way, next wife. And, my mom kind of had sort of a rough upbringing because of that, because let's be honest, being a child of divorce is nothing short of stressful, to say the least. Lots of people go, there's lots of horror stories and stuff like that, and so, that's how, and when I was born, years and years and years later, my late grandfather and my grandmother who just visited were still married. But then they eventually, got divorced. That's why she's my ex-step-grandmother. So, if, she was my mom's stepmother, that makes her my step-grandmother. But she wound up divorcing my grandfather, so that makes her an ex. So, yeah, ex-step-grandmother. I feel bad because that feels like such a derogatory name. Especially when you grow up watching Disney, and obviously you see the original Cinderella, the best one by the way, the animated one. And you just hear stepmother and stepsisters and the way they treat Cinderella, you just think they're if you have a step parent or a step sibling, life is gonna be bad. But, obviously that's not remotely the case. Plus, again, Cinderella's a fairy tale by the Brothers Grimm, so, yeah, some families are that dysfunctional, for sure. But more often than not, you find the opposite to be true. So, there you go. Plus, even after my grandparents had gotten divorced, we still kept in touch with her. And she's actually traveled all over the place and lived a lot of places. Like, she's been all over the world. She lived in Rochester, New York. She lived in Massachusetts, actually not far from my family in Reading. And currently she's living in Seattle. She has family out there, so yeah. It was really nice seeing her again. And I honestly can't wait to see. Although, unfortunately, I'm gonna be stupid and just believe something in my life is gonna be going wrong, and I hear that she's coming. I'm like, I'm not in the mood for this right now. I tried to say that without yawning, sorry. But, where was I? Right. I was saying that, by the time she wants to come back, which hopefully will be in the spring, fingers crossed, she's gonna, I'm gonna be like, I don't want to see her. But then, when everything's said and done, I'm like, you know what, I'm glad I did. I gotta work on that. But, it's fine. So I guess I can say my high was I got to see her last night before she left. Got to give her a hug before she went. So that was nice. We actually went to the Corning Country Club for dinner last night. It was actually my idea because, believe it or not, my parents are celebrating their anniversary this month, which is actually on the 29th. And I would suggest we go then, but my mom is actually working that day. So we thought, why not do it now? And we had a fantastic evening. And I loved it. I don't really like to talk about what I get at the club, technically I have, but what I mean is, I don't really like to tell you what the country club's menu is, because they change it so frequently, I couldn't tell you what's, seriously, within a month of the last time I was there, so literally back in September, they completely changed the menu. Completely. They took off onion rings as one of the sides. But they put sweet potato fries on there because a lot of people were asking for them back. And, what else was there? And they actually had a very cool looking new menu. I mean, unfortunately, if you're looking for a steak, your only option, legit steak by the way, is an 8-ounce filet. Which, it's an 8-ounce filet, prepared very well, so it's going to be super duper expensive kind of. It was the most expensive thing on the menu for the entrees. That's what my father ordered. For me, I was actually sort of a toss-up between the braised beef short rib and the lobster ravioli. I was really torn between, here's the thing. The lobster ravioli looks good, but it doesn't come with two sides. The braised beef short rib comes with two sides, so that's what I wound up doing. And, my father ordered the filet, my grandmother and I ordered the braised beef short rib, and my mother always gets the fish fry. Which, it does look like really good fish fry. She got hers with sauteed spinach, which looked really good. I haven't had sauteed spinach in forever. To be perfectly honest though, I never really go for sauteed spinach because, it's kind of finicky to work with. I'll probably try and make a better effort about that going forward. But as for our sides, my grandmother, for her two sides, she got sweet potato fries and the vegetable of the day, which was green beans. My father and I both got sweet potato fries. And because it was a Friday, they had mac and cheese as a side. So, yeah, I had a braised beef short rib with mac and cheese and sweet potato fries that you could dip in maple syrup. It was really good. It was very good. You have to be a member of the club to, actually eat there. But if you are a member of the club and you're eating there, I recommend getting that. It was good. It was real good. And they actually have other good. I actually got the French onion soup as well. That was good too. I liked it. Because we're my family is a bunch of soup snobs. And I told them you would like it, okay, but whenever people have French onion soup, they either have like croutons or like the big sort of like piece of bread. My father likes the piece of bread. And I'm like, in their defense, the croutons are actually like really hard and they get softened up and you actually get lava too. So, there you go. Honestly, it was a very lovely evening. It was. You know, we talked a lot. You know, I actually saw an old friend last night because as we were eating dinner in the dining room, there was a wedding party who was doing essentially the rehearsal. Which, for those of you who don't know, the Corning Country Club is known for can have like venues on their top floor, but apparently you can also do like the whole ceremony like on the bottom floor or something. Which, okay, I didn't know that. And an old friend of mine was actually going to be the presider of the wedding. So, yeah, we got to talk. I actually got to meet his fiancée. She's very nice. So, yeah, this was a very, very good evening. I have no complaints whatsoever. I mean, other than the fact that I wish it didn't end. But, come on, who's not going to think that, right? Plus, if you're thinking that, then you know it was a good time. So there you go. What else was there? What else happened? Actually, whenever you go to the club, there's this one waitress that we know. And again, I never name names, so it's not to embarrass or offend anyone or potentially get anyone fired. But, like, I'm looking at the new menu, and she's walking, because I was the first one there. And she's walking up to me. I'm like, I see they changed the menu. I'm like, I'm thinking, because here's the thing. I go in there with an open mind, and everything on the menu from, the burgers, the sandwiches, the sides, the salads, the appetizers, the main entrees, stuff like that. It all looked very good. But again, you're talking to someone who loves to keep an open mind. But, of course, I had to make the obligatory comment, they got rid of the onion rings. Like, seriously, here's the thing. The reason why because I mentioned earlier how the lobster ravioli didn't come with two sides, but the braised beef short rib did. Here's the thing. If onion rings were still a side, like them and the sweet potato fries would have been my sides. But they weren't there. So, I guess you could have gotten regular fries. That would have been good. Like regular fries and sweet potato fries. That would have been awesome. But, honestly, I never really had the mac and cheese at the Corning Country Club before. It was very good. I liked it. And they have it's like the good mac and cheese. The ones with like little crumbly crust on that. It was good. It was real good. Like clearly they make it like sort of casserole style with like the crust baked on it, but then they scoop it up and put on there and they make sure you have like some extra of the cheesy crust or whatever. Oh, that's good. That's good eating, my friends. Good eating, my friends. It's not evening, it's early morning. It's actually 10 after 7 o'clock in the morning right now. You probably can't tell because it's particularly cloudy. Plus, we're also in that time of year where days are getting shorter, nights are growing longer. So, 7 o'clock in the morning is going to be like, pitch black out potentially. We're going to have daylight savings time eventually. That's going to be a thing. I believe it's going to be the first weekend in November, which isn't that far. Actually, I do believe it's the weekend of my nephew's birthdays. So, yeah. I should probably make an effort to change the clocks when I can. Although this time I'm not going to make the same mistake I did. I forget when, but I made a very silly mistake of thinking that daylight savings time was a week earlier, but it wasn't. That was not very smart of me. Sorry, I have an itch in my eye, excuse me. There we go. So, yeah. I guess you could say I went clubbing last night. And you know what? I literally, that was just the title of the video just there. I'm calling it right here. So yes, you know, because my grandmother sometimes watches these videos, you know, here's hoping that, you know, you make it to Rochester to see your friends safely, and then all the way back to Seattle to get home safely and, you know, see your family and your cats. So, yeah. One of these days I really should do a video at the Corning Country Club. I mean, I guess one of the reasons why I don't is because, again, it's a country club, so there's kind of like exclusivity there. And plus, I don't really know how they are with filming inside, so that's something I would need to play by ear. And I didn't even get to my act of kindness today, did I? Or my high, for that matter. Okay, so my high was I had a great time with my family last night, and my act of kindness was actually I chauffeured my grandmother yesterday. So there you go. Oh, and I also got Reese's yesterday. That was really good. Like, favorite, share, subscribe button, follow me on social media. I said that way too fast. I'm sorry. Like, favorite, share, and hit that subscribe button. Follow me on the social media platforms. You know, YouTube. Ring the bell for notifications. Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr. I'm on Tumblr. I post on there. And I'm very home in this video for all of you guys watching. Enjoy for hope we have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. Remember, you guys want to talk or challenge, we'll be here to lend an ear. I always have your back. Take care and make good choices. While I'm having a bunch of brain farts, I am tired. But that's because I had a wonderful evening last night. See ya.